Yo, what is going on, guys? I am super excited to finally be making an early access content creator program video for a new champion again. It's been a while since I've done these, and it's just because I really started getting back into the game on YouTube a lot more recently. And I wanted to do one for Anti-Venom, but I just wasn't super hyped about him. But Knull, oh my god, so hyped, so excited to make this video, talk about him. And especially after the deep dive specifically, a lot of people were disappointed with him and all kinds of stuff. And so this video, I hope, is going to change your mind on Knull if you're kind of in the camp that is a little on the disappointed side of Knull. I'm going to try to convince you how good he is, because personally, I think he is easily top 5 in the Cosmic class. I even want to say higher, but I'm just going to leave it at top 5 for now. I think he's an absolutely phenomenal champion. And in this video, my goal is to make you think that as well. I'm going to try to showcase all of what this guy can do, damage, utility, you name it. We're going to try to hammer on all parts of his kit. Real quick, before we get into any gameplay, I just want to quickly talk about it. We'll talk more. It'll make more sense when you see the gameplay, but just real quick, we're going to go over his abilities. So, Knull, his passive is that he has 40% resistance to degeneration. All types, passive, buffs, debuffs, doesn't matter. There's no degeneration buffs, but yeah, that's really nice. And it's going to be very useful on some nodes, which we'll talk about, showcase. And then 60% resistance to bleed and poison, which is phenomenal. This just makes him really suicide mastery friendly, which is phenomenal. The rest is basically just for defense, so we're not going to talk about that. Now, we get to his couple of his main things, which is the first being corruption. So, Knull inflicts corruption on his opponents using special attacks, only special 1 and 3. This special 1 is a bit of a delayed. It's kind of like encroaching stun, how it applies. Special 3 is instant. So, when you use corruption, the opponent's armor breaks are paused, which is really great. So, as long as corruption is active, your armor breaks will just be permanently paused. On activation, you convert all of Living Abyss debuffs on the opponent into armor break. This is a brand new debuff in the game, so no one's going to be immune to it, which is pretty cool. Now, these armor breaks only lower armor by 233, which is extremely low, but these can stack over 100. So they may be very small, but when you put a whole bunch of them together, they really add up. All right, for each armor up effect on the opponent, inflict an armor break debuff. This is nice. If you're fighting an opponent that has a lot of armor ups, you can get a lot of armor break debuffs, way past 100. The opponent suffers minus 3.25 current combat power rate for each armor break debuff, max 65%. So you only need 20 armor break debuffs, and then you're going to be lowering the opponent's combative power gain rate by 65%, which is huge, which again, we're going to talk about and showcase later. Also reverse controls, but again, that only matters on defense. So let's get to his abilities. So mediums, heavies, and special attack 1s all have true accuracy, which ignore evade and auto block, which is really sick. While the opponent is not corrupted, landing a hit into block has a 75% chance to apply an indefinite Living Abyss. So this is how you get those Living Abyss. You use mediums, heavies, special 1s, and even in the block, it can still apply. It's a 75% chance, which is great. And when the opponent is corrupted, consume 3 armor break debuffs to inflict 3 Living Abyss debuffs, regenerate 10% of hit damage, inflicted degeneration debuff, dealing 2,000 direct damage over 2 seconds. This ability does not trigger when using a medium 1. So you have to go either use 2 mediums and ending combo, or use your heavy or special 1 to activate this whole regen mechanic, which his regen is phenomenal. Again, we'll showcase that in just a little while. And then he also has other types of attacks with his Necro Sword. These are light attacks and special 2s attacks, which pauses the duration, which pauses corruption on the opponent, which is phenomenal. This allows you to really keep corruption up for pretty much infinitely if you play it right. And while the opponent is corrupted, you apply instant bleeds, you dealing 65% of hit damage as direct damage, which is awesome. Really great damage. And yeah, special 2 also applies 10 armor breaks. Special 1, like I said, it has that encroaching corruption. And then special 3 just inflicts corruption. It lasts 25 seconds. And then signature ability, you apply Living Abyss debuffs right at the start of the fight, depending on the SIG level, which is pretty sick. At SIG 200, it's about 15 debuffs on the opponent right at the start, which is huge. And then also, when corruption activates, you go unblockable and unstoppable, which is nice. And while the opponent is below 50% health, if you have corruption active, whenever they would gain a regeneration effect, this should be buffs or passives, you replace it with a degeneration debuff, which is pretty sick. So that's his abilities, quickly talked about. Now let's go jump to the gameplay. So I try to get through those as quickly as I can. I just wanted to touch upon it real quick so it'll make a little bit more sense. going to explain more now that we're in the fights, and it'll probably make more sense that you can visually see it. So up first here, this is just Winter Soldier. I know a lot of people just like to see new champions against Winter Soldier. Most of the gameplay here will be from a 6-star rank 3. Some will be with a 5-star rank 3. Just showcasing some utility. But yeah, the main of this will be a 6-star rank 3 with suicides. Right here, there's no synergy or anything. This is just straight up Knull. Just to give you guys like a baseline of how good he is against Realm of Legends Winter Soldier, the punching bag of MCOC. So as you see, I'm going for heavy attacks. I'm just, right now, to start the fight, the goal is just to build up that Living Abyss. For a little bit more of longer fights, you want to go for the special 3. If you have an opponent with like more than, I'd say, like 300,000 health, I'd opt for the special 3. So just building those up. We're at 43 right now, which is good. All of those are going to turn into armor breaks. Boom, 44. By the time we get to special 3, you can see easily over 40 armor breaks, and you only need 20 to get that power rate reduction. So pay close attention to Winter Soldier's power bar, right? You're gonna see it's barely moving, which is so nice. Just watch that power. You can see big reduction. So now that he's corrupted, we got all those armor breaks, and remember, we're pausing that corruption using light attacks, and our light attacks are also applying that instant bleed damage. What I really like about Knull is he has multiple ways to deal damage, which is awesome for depending on, you know, the situation and what you need to do. You can also, you know, sacrifice some damage for regen, but as you see, I'm already at pretty close to full health, so I don't really need regen here. But we're going to be showcasing regen, I think, in the next fight. So there's just a basic Winter Soldier fight. As you see, he only got like a bar and a bit of power after that special 3, that rotation, which is insane. The power reduction is awesome. So now we really want to showcase the regen. So we're jumping into an Abyss fight at 21% HP, and you guys just keep an eye on my health bar. So I think Knull. I think one of the big reasons why I like him so much, and why I think he's going to be one of the top in the highest tier of Cosmic Champions, is because of this regen. His regen, I think, is so stupidly strong. Honestly, probably my favorite thing about him. And so how the regen works is you kind of end up sacrificing some damage for the regen, but the cool thing about his regen is it's based upon how much damage you do. So the more that you build up your damage with armor breaks and stuff, like I said, you can get over 100 armor breaks. Then the more damage you're going to be doing, the more regen you're going to be getting, because it's based off the damage that you're dealing, which is just awesome. So I'm not saying like this is how you fight Iron Man Infinity War. My only goal in this fight here is to showcase his regen. That's all I'm trying to do with this fight here. That's the only purpose of this video, this specific fight clip video. Just trying to showcase the regen. As you see, now that we get to the special 3, we're already at 34% health. I haven't even really done anything. That's mainly from suicides, just healing me up. With the poison debuff on us, we gain basically a passive regen. You can see we're taking 58 damage per tick, but we're healing for 136. So just having suicides is basically a passive regen. So now you're going to see I'm consuming those armor breaks to get regeneration. Basically just want to finish your combo with a medium. Now here I also go for heavy attacks, because heavy attacks work for it too, and so do special ones. But it's definitely medium attacks are the way to go. Heavy attacks, the thing is, they consume a lot of your armor breaks, and they don't even really give that much regen. So it's not really super worth it in the long run. As you saw, my corruption ran out, but I refreshed it with the special 1. Because I'm not really going for a whole lot of light attacks, I end up not pausing the corruption. You know, I'm just really trying to regen. Which again, I'm not saying this is how you play Knull. I'm just trying to regen in this fight. Just trying to showcase the regen here specifically. So yeah, and this special 3 is so savage. I love it. He's just beheading people out here, man. It's so savage. So yeah, as you can see, we're hitting pretty hard, which is great. And that in turn is giving us some big regen numbers, which is phenomenal. We've already healed up to 50% health. Boom, you see that second medium there heals for 877 health. Another 852 right there. That one was 1600 off that one hit. That one was 758. You can see just so much regen. And again, the more damage that you're dealing, the more health you're going to be regening. And it's not even that bad of a trade-off, I don't think, man. Because you're converting the armor breaks that you have you convert them into new living abyss debuffs, and then once you go for corruption again, you just convert them back into armor breaks, and you can just keep recycling that. I think there is a bit of a bug here. I noticed it with Iron Man 3 more specifically, and I've had it in a couple of other fights where after I use my special 3, if I already have corruption active and I re-trigger corruption, it's not adding all of my my old armor break debuffs with my new armor break debuffs that should be coming from the living abyss. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I think it's bugged. I went ahead and let the Coop know, the guy who designed Knull. So yeah, hopefully that gets fixed. It was working on other fights. I tested it on Labyrinth Starlord and it was working normal. So yeah, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. And like I said, heavies I don't think are the super way to go for regen specifically, but here I was going for it. But as you see, boom, we healed up to full that fast. And we were just kind of fighting normal. You don't even have to do like that much different stuff, you know. You're gonna keep in mind your combos, just end with a medium, and you're gonna be regenning on up. That regen, I think, is honestly insane. So this next clip is just a raw. This is just damage showcase. So here I've built up to 94 of the living abyss charges. This definitely took a little while. I'm obviously not going to show that because that's a pain. It took like a minute. It probably took like 2 minutes to build all that up. And yeah, now that's the max you can have of those 99. So we're going to throw this special 3. Now we're going to get 99 armor breaks. So I think this is the way to go for like super long end game type fights that have like millions of health. You know, I think it's worth that kind of ramp up, because once you do that, you can keep this up permanently. Those armor breaks aren't going anywhere. We're going to keep those up for the rest of the fight. 99 armor breaks. So as you can see, we're hitting pretty hard. And that damage, like I said, that damage is not going anywhere because our light attacks keep on pausing that corruption timer. So what you want to go for in a situation like this is just medium and then followed by 4 lights. So or you can just go like this and just start intercepting, because their combative power rate is so low. You don't have to worry about baiting specials, and you can just keep rinsing and repeating these intercepts. Look at that, so easy. This is with a synergy team. I think Knull's synergies aren't really important. There's only one that I really like, and I think it's with Hood, Sentry, and Void. So some actual pretty good synergy partners. And what it does is basically when you have corruption active, it gives you an energize buff. As you see under my health bar there, we have the energize, and that's just nice, just because, you know, we get power faster. So boom, you see, we go for special 3, then we go for another one. We have 2 corruptions up. And yeah, we keep pausing them, so we can keep that corruption up infinitely. We can, as long as we just keep using these light attacks like this, we can keep that up for the rest of the fight, no problem. And you can see those numbers in red; those are the instant bleeds with our sword attacks on the lights. And now we're gonna go for a special 2. I figured, I was like, you know what? Like, we got to that special 3 so quickly. I have enough time to throw a special 2. And a special 2, it's not doing like super insane damage, but it's still doing good damage, because it also takes advantage of those instant bleeds, which is pretty nice. And you can see the overall damage output is just piling up like crazy. And I'm looking at his health here. I'm like, I don't even need to go for another special 3. One more special 2 and a couple more combos should just do the trick. And yeah, it will. Like, you can see the damage output here, man. It's nuts. I think Knull just has, I think he's a Swiss Army knife. He has so much going on, dude. So that's like his real damage potential. Pretty insane if you build it up like that. And like I said, I do think it's worth the build up in in-game content, like Labyrinth of Legends, like Abyss. It's definitely worth in those types of scenarios. So the next showcase I want to do for you guys is to talk about that degen resistance. So here we're jumping into Act 6, the first quest with no retreat, and we're just going to be triggering no retreat. Like, pretty much, I'm gonna try to trigger it like as soon as I can. Just gonna keep on triggering it, and yeah, as you can see, the first trigger with the bleed and the poison from suicides, we're out healing it. Once the bleed falls off, I think it will do more damage than we can keep up with, but you can still see it's mitigating a ton of that damage. You know, it's not really a worry. And again, Knull has his own built-in regen. So on shorter fights like this, I think the L1 is just the way to go. It just makes for quick and easy fights. Look how quick this fight goes by. Starting with that special 1. I think having a max sig is going to be important if you want to go for that on more shorter fights, because you start with 15 of those living abyss charges, which is really nice. But so next up, I want to showcase to you guys his evade and auto block countering abilities. So here I'm just dueling myself with the practice function, and as you can see against MODOK, he's actually a really solid MODOK counter. Because our mediums cannot be auto blocked, so you see we go for it, boom, it says auto block failed, and then it just goes away. So then we can just go for a 5-hit combo. Actually, I didn't think it was going to work quite that well, so that's really awesome. As you can see, I'm not parrying on purpose, just pretending like this is a stun immune fight. Well, there I parried, but yeah, I was trying to showcase it like kind of like stun immune. And yeah, you can see, boom, just really solid for countering that auto block, man. Really awesome ability. And of course, in fights, you know, you just remember, your mediums cannot be auto blocked, cannot be evaded. Same with your heavy attack, which is pretty sweet. Obviously, I'm not going to show the heavy attack against auto blocking because I don't think heavy attacks can be auto blocked. But against Spider-Man here, heavy attacks can definitely be evaded. So you'll see, look at that, evade failed, nothing to worry about. Boom, go for another one. As you can see right there, you see all that weird looking text. My game was being weird, man, and like that's why I couldn't see the abilities either. It just had stuff like that written all throughout my Knull's abilities. So I had to. It was annoying. I was trying to like learn how to play him and stuff, but I couldn't read his abilities, so I had to pull it up on a separate on my computer and read it from there. But yeah, just like you just gotta be mindful of what attacks you're throwing if you're fighting evade champs, and if you only throw mediums, heavies, special ones, they can never evade, which is pretty sweet. You just never have to worry about it. That's such good built-in utility to have, man. That's so good. Now, next up here, I wanted to try it against Mordo, because I was like, you know, Mordo's Astral Evade, we should be able to just parry this guy, and as long as we start with a medium and not a light, should be fine. So boom, look at this. Yep, you can just totally bypass Mordo's Astral Evade. You can parry all day long, but again, make sure you don't use a light attack if you're going to be trying this at home, or else it won't work. Has to be a medium or a heavy attack, or a special one. Or I mean, any special will work. That's how it works, but yeah. I think it's really cool. So next up, one of the most awesome things about this guy is that power rate reduction. You guys have already seen it a little bit, but here I'm going to showcase it a little bit more. So boom, this is an Act 6 fight. We just threw a special one, and just watch Heimdall's power. Like, it's not a worry. He's dead before he can even get close to that special one. Like, just look at his power. He's barely getting anything. Look, that was like 3 combos, not even half a bar of power, man. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, last up, the last thing I want to show you guys is with his signature ability. When the opponent is below 50% health and they are corrupted, their regens will turn into degens. So we're fighting Realm of Legends Wolverine here, of course. It's a perfect fight. Text on, boom. You see he's trying to trigger regen, but boom, it's turning into degen. Also, if you're high sig with your Knull and you have despair, you're going to start the fight with a bunch of debuffs on the opponent. That paired with despair just alone will turn off healing. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. And yeah, this is just a 5-star Knull, and he's handling this Wolverine just fine, no problems at all. I think it's like a rank 3 Knull or something. Yeah, and he's handling that regen. It's nothing. I didn't have to worry about the regen at all in this fight, so I always had just enough debuffs from despair. And then yeah, once you get below 50, he just turns the regen into degen, so you're good to go. So yeah, that's all I got for you for today on for this video for Knull. I'm definitely gonna be making a lot more Knull videos. If you have any requests, go ahead and let me know. I'm gonna be going really hard for this guy with the Cavaliers as well. Gonna be trying to get him. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think Knull is phenomenal. And if this video didn't convince you, well, subscribe, because I will convince you. I will make more videos on Knull to convince you how good this guy is, because I really believe he's top tier, man. But that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section if I changed your mind at all. Let me know what you think about Knull. If you're still disappointed, if you think about injustice, I'm very interested to read these comments. That is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.